Few figures in American sports history embody the paradox of talent, pressure, and downfall as much as Todd Marinovich. Once heralded as the robo-quarterback, Marinovich was bred from childhood to become the perfect athlete. His rocket arm and uncanny composure under pressure made him one of the most talked-about quarterback prospects in high school and college football during the late 1980s and early 1990s. But the same strict upbringing that crafted his success also contributed to his eventual struggles. His professional career with the Los Angeles Raiders was cut short after only 2 seasons, derailed by drug abuse and personal turmoil. Marinovich's story remains a cautionary tale about the dangers of pushing too hard, too early, and about the consequences of substance abuse. It is also, in some ways, a story of redemption, an ongoing process of self-discovery and resilience. Todd Marvin Marinovich was born on July 4, 1969, in San Leandro, California, into a household where sports, training, and discipline were non-negotiable. His father, Marv Marinovich, was a former U.S.C. football player and an offensive line coach with a reputation for toughness. Marv also became one of the pioneers of modern athletic training, developing innovative techniques in strength and conditioning that would later be used across professional sports. Marv saw his son as a living experiment. From infancy, Todd's life was engineered around athletic development. Junk food was banned from the household. Processed sugars, sodas, and fast food were off limits. Instead, Todd was placed on a strict diet of fresh fruits, vegetables, and high-protein meals. Physical training began at an age when most children were barely learning to ride a bike. Stories circulated, sometimes exaggerated, sometimes not, of Todd being put through stretching routines as a toddler or being denied birthday cake because it did not fit his father's nutritional standards. While some parents might have seen football as a possible interest for their child, Marv Marinovich designed his son's life so that football would not be an interest but a destiny. By the time Todd entered Capistrano Valley High School in Mission Viejo, California, his reputation had already begun to spread. He was a tall, lean, and mechanically flawless quarterback, throwing with precision and poise that rivaled older players. His junior and senior years at Capistrano Valley became legendary. In 1985, during his junior season, Marinovich threw for over 2,000 yards, setting school records and earning attention from scouts nationwide. His senior year was even more remarkable. He passed for 2,477 yards and 33 touchdowns. More importantly, his near-perfect mechanics and ability to read defenses made him a highly coveted recruit. National media outlets picked up on his story, often emphasizing his unusual upbringing. Sports Illustrated famously dubbed him the Robo QB, painting a picture of a scientifically engineered athlete destined for greatness. At the time, the nickname carried awe rather than criticism. Todd wasn't just good, he was projected to be one of the best quarterback prospects in the nation. In 1987, he played in the prestigious Ken Hall National High School All-Star Game and was named the nation's top high school quarterback. Recruiting letters poured in from every major college football program, but for Todd, there was only one real choice: the University of Southern California, his father's alma mater and a quarterback factory. In 1988, Todd Marinovich arrived at U.S.C. with sky-high expectations. He was the rare freshman who not only competed for the starting job but actually won it. At a program that had produced legends like Carson Palmer, Rodney Peete, and later Matt Leinart, Marinovich's immediate impact was striking. In his first year as the Trojans' starting quarterback, Marinovich set the NCAA freshman record with 2,578 passing yards. He led U.S.C. to a 9-2-1 record, including a dramatic 17-13 victory over Michigan in the Rose Bowl. That season, he completed 62% of his passes, threw 16 touchdowns, and was named Pac-10 Freshman of the Year. The Rose Bowl victory was perhaps the pinnacle of his college career. Against a powerful Michigan team, Marinovich displayed composure well beyond his years, engineering drives with surgical precision. Sportswriters hailed him as a future Heisman Trophy contender. U.S.C. fans dreamed of national championships with Marinovich at the helm. But the following season exposed cracks in both Todd's life and his relationship with U.S.C. While he threw for another 2,000 yards and 13 touchdowns, his interceptions climbed to 12, and his performance became inconsistent. U.S.C., plagued by injuries and internal turmoil, slumped to an underwhelming 8-4-1 record. At the same time, Todd's personal life was unraveling. The pressures of living up to his father's expectations and the "Robo-QB" label weighed heavily on him. Away from the field, he began experimenting with marijuana, alcohol, and harder drugs. Conflicts with U.S.C. head coach Larry Smith further strained his college career. After a particularly heated sideline argument during the 1990 season, it became clear that Marinovich's time at U.S.C. would be short-lived. In January 1991, Marinovich was arrested for cocaine possession. Though the charge was later reduced, the incident sealed his fate at U.S.C. Instead of returning for his junior season, he declared for the 1991 N.F.L. draft. The N.F.L. remained tantalized by Marinovich's physical gifts. Despite concerns about his off-field behavior, the Los Angeles Raiders selected him in the first round, 24th overall, of the 1991 draft. For Raiders owner Al Davis, known for his willingness to gamble on players with immense talent, Marinovich was the perfect project. Marinovich saw limited action during his rookie season, appearing in 2 games late in the year. He made his first career start against the Kansas City Chiefs in a nationally televised Monday Night Football game during the 1991 NFL season. Though the Raiders lost, Marinovich threw for 243 yards and 3 touchdowns, showcasing flashes of brilliance. His second start came in the 1991 AFC Wild Card playoff game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Under immense pressure, Marinovich struggled, completing just 12 of 23 passes for 140 yards with 4 interceptions. The Raiders lost 10-6, and critics wondered whether he had been rushed into the spotlight too soon. Marinovich entered the 1992 season competing for the starting quarterback job. He played in 8 games, starting 5, and threw for 1,345 yards with 8 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. While his arm strength was undeniable, his inconsistency and poor decision-making hampered the offense. Behind the scenes, Marinovich's drug use was escalating. Cocaine, marijuana, and LSD became regular parts of his lifestyle. He failed multiple drug tests, straining his relationship with the Raiders. Coaches grew frustrated with his lack of discipline, and teammates found him increasingly unreliable. By the end of the 1992 season, his NFL career was hanging by a thread. In 1993, before the start of training camp, Marinovich once again failed a drug test, effectively ending his career with the Raiders. At just 24 years old, the Robo-QB was out of the NFL. Attempts to revive his career in the Canadian Football League and Arena Football League were sporadic and unsuccessful. His addictions overshadowed his talent. Arrests for drug possession and public incidents of erratic behavior filled his post-NFL years. Marinovich himself later admitted that by the time he was in the NFL, football no longer brought him joy. The game felt like a burden, a responsibility imposed on him since birth rather than a passion he had chosen. Drugs, while destructive, provided him a temporary escape from that pressure. Though his playing career ended prematurely, Todd Marinovich's story didn't stop with his release from the Raiders. His post-football life has been a winding road of setbacks, relapses, and attempts at redemption. In the 2000s and 2010s, Marinovich became known for his artwork, particularly paintings of athletes and musicians. His creative side offered him a form of therapy and self-expression beyond the rigid structure of football. Exhibitions of his work gained modest attention, and painting became a way for him to reconnect with the world outside sports. At the same time, he faced ongoing struggles with substance abuse. Numerous arrests, from drug possession to bizarre public incidents, kept his name in headlines for the wrong reasons. Yet throughout these struggles, Marinovich has spoken candidly about his battles, becoming an unwitting advocate for awareness around addiction and mental health. In interviews, he has acknowledged the role his upbringing played in both his talent and his troubles. While grateful for the opportunities football brought him, Marinovich has also been honest about the suffocating expectations that contributed to his drug use. His story continues to serve as a reminder that athletic success cannot mask deeper personal struggles. Todd Marinovich never lived up to the promise of being the next great N.F.L. quarterback. His N.F.L. career stat line, 8 games, 1,345 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, represents a fraction of the potential scouts once saw in him. Yet his story endures because it transcends statistics. For coaches, athletes, and parents, Marinovich's life is a case study in the dangers of overspecialization and excessive pressure in youth sports. His father's methods, while pioneering in strength and conditioning, often crossed the line into obsession, leaving Todd little room to develop his own identity. For sports fans, Marinovich embodies the "what could have been" narrative, similar to other athletes whose careers were derailed by personal demons. He serves as a reminder that talent alone is not enough. Mental health, support systems, and personal choice play equally crucial roles in long-term success. At over 2,500 words, Todd Marinovich's story cannot be told without acknowledging both the brilliance and the tragedy. He was a prodigy who set records at U.S.C., a first-round N.F.L. draft pick, and, for a brief moment, a promising young quarterback for the Los Angeles Raiders. But drugs, pressure, and the weight of expectations cut his career short. Today, Marinovich lives with the legacy of both his achievements and his failures. His journey from robo-QB to fallen star serves not only as a cautionary tale but also as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. For every misstep, there is also the chance of recovery, of finding new meaning beyond the game. Todd Marinovich may never have reached the NFL stardom once predicted for him, but his life continues to teach lessons far more valuable than touchdowns or trophies.